So, everyone probably knows what My Hero Academia is. It's a popular series, and it's popular for a reason. The characters, the story, the writing, the world, the heroes, the villains, practically every aspect of the series is at the top of the game. It means a lot to me personally, and when I caught up with the anime at the end of Season 2 airing, I couldn't wait. I caved and I read the manga. Then Season 3 came out, and I was really excited to see all those moments animated. But at the same time, I already wanted Season 4, because the next arc was going to introduce a character that I love so dearly. There's a lot to unpack when we first meet Eri. For the purpose of staying on topic, which I am notoriously bad at, let's focus on this interaction. Deku's innate instinct to save someone in need, and Mirio's experience as a detective hero sidekick. The second he lays his hand on the girl, Deku knows something is wrong. Izuku, screw the rules, I'm gonna save people Midoriya, is ready to confront Shisaki right then and there if it means this little girl is out of harm's way. But Lemillion tries to defuse the situation as best he can, hiding Izuku's face, not saying Night Eye's name, and trying to keep moving along, because Eri was a previously unknown factor in the Hisaikai's activities. That information needs to get back to the pros so that they can plan accordingly. He can see that Eri is being hurt, but from his experience, it's better to plan as intricately beforehand as possible to increase the chances their mission will be a success. If they take Eri now, then something unforeseen could go wrong. At this point, Night Eye Agency doesn't have any proof that the Hisaikai are doing anything illegal. So two sidekicks kidnapping the young head's daughter? It would completely destroy the investigation. But if they gather information for later, they may be able to secure a surefire rescue. Of course, none of that matters, because Overhaul threatens not Eri, but the two heroes trying to help her, and that makes the girl run right back to him. At this point in time, she's only 6 years old, and most of her memories are of pain. Not only that, but Overhaul does everything he can to dehumanize and demonize Eri. He echoes her mother's words over and over, telling the kid she's cursed and evil, and every action she takes causes the suffering of another.
Come back, Eri. How many times do I have to tell you? It's your fault. You break people. That's just how you were born.
Go! Hurry!
Don't listen to him.
You know how this goes. I always have to get my hands dirty because of your selfishness. Every action you take results in people dying. You're a cursed human.
To Eri, it's easier to be hurt than watch others be hurt for you. Jumping to the rescue mission, the Hisaikai are trying to keep the heroes at bay while Shisaki and his lackey Kurano escape with Eri. Mirio uses his permeation to run ahead and confront the Yakuza. Shisaki taunts the boy, saying how, to Eri, he's no hero. And it's true, and he knows that, which is why he's here now. From here all the way until Deku reaches out, Eri is utterly frozen. When Mirio reaches her, she tells him to leave, that he'll die if he keeps helping her. All she can say is sorry over and over because it's been drilled into her that all of this is her fault, and the guilt is too much for those tiny shoulders. Mirio is hurt, and Overhaul calls out to Eri. She's scared and racked with guilt and runs back, telling Overhaul she'll return to him. She doesn't want to be saved, because it's better that she's the one hurting. Deku, quite frankly, doesn't give a shit. Eri was crying, and he'll save her. Once the rescue is over, Eri is being cared for in a hospital, and she's still under the influence of Overhaul. Aizawa says it best.
From what I understand, she's racked with guilt, and has been blaming herself for everything that happened.
That's a summary of the situation, and it seems pretty cut and dry to a lot of people. Eri is a child in need, and Deku saves her. Nothing more than a victim to be rescued for Deku's development as a hero and character. And while yes, narratively that's what's happening, believing it's the only thing that's going on shows an utter lack of comprehension for the story and a disrespect for the writing. So now it's time to deep dive into specific moments and explain why they're so good, why they're so well done, and why you should care. Let's start with Mirio's cape. It's the first symbol we're given throughout these fights, and it's one of the most important ones. For the most part, capes in Hiroaka serve the same purpose as they do for Western heroes in comics. It makes them look cool. And it's true! Capes are super cool, and Edna mode can die mad.
No capes!
But for how much Hiroaka takes inspiration from Marvel and DC Comics, there actually aren't that many heroes with capes. And yet, Horikoshi, the original author, took this popular design element for superheroes and made it mean something. While fighting to protect Eri, Lemillion uses his cape as a distraction. Kureno makes a comment about heroes only wearing capes to look cool. Then Lemillion makes his grand declaration.
You want to know why a hero wears a cape? So he can use it to comfort someone who's suffering! That's why!
In this moment, the story makes the active connection between a cape and heroism. Instead of it being an incidental design choice done purely for aesthetic, the cape has meaning now. It's Lemillion's cape that sparks Eri's subconscious desire to be rescued. It's a symbol of hope, and for the rest of this fight, whoever wears Lemillion's cape is a hero. Mirio himself, Izuku, and one more person. Oh boy. Oh, this is it. This is what 13 episodes of build-up was leading to. This single moment. To, recap. Overhaul has fused himself with one of his minions, grabbing Eri and making a break for the surface from their underground lair. Once they get out of there, Overhaul is going to run, and the heroes will have lost. Night Eye is lethally injured. Mirio is down for the count. Deku's been impaled in the arm and leg, and we've seen several other heroes injured throughout the raid. Using his quirk, Shisaki rises to the surface, and Deku's quick to follow, bouncing off the fallen debris in order to scale the spire. The torn cape of Lemillion flutters by, and Shisaki sneers at its appearance. But Eri sees it, and that sparks something within her. Now, the anime and manga actually play out a little bit differently here due to the change in media. In the manga, we have several panels of narration that aren't being spoken by any character in particular. Horikoshi was using the visual and written format to verbalize the complex emotions going through Eri in that moment. While most of the narration was given to Eri, some of it was lost in the adaptation, as well as some added pictures that give further context to Eri's torment. Though, I can forgive that, because the anime gave us some wonderful additions. First off, I can't fit this anywhere else in the video, but episode 13 of season 4 came out before the Heroes Rising movie. And before the Heroes Rising movie, a song made for the movie, Might Plus You, was released as promotion. I had been listening to the song for a while now and getting emotional because damn, it is so good. So when I go to watch this episode, knowing that it's gonna make me cry because I'm a baby and the last several episodes have brought me to tears, and then I hear this.
Don't worry about a thing. We'll reach out to you.
This time, I will save her!
Harder way.
I failed before. She needed me, and I let her slip away. But that won't happen again. This time, I'll hold on.
No, we have to
Gotcha.
So, yeah. Anyways, you see in the manga, Eri grabs the cape, her quirk activates, and she's thrown off the rock spire and into Deku's arms. In the anime,
These people aren't going to give up. Not until I'm safe. Even if it means they'll die. I have to let them. I I have to go back. I have to go back. I have to trust him.
Eri stops. She sees Deku, and she makes a choice. She stood to her feet and jumped. While the activation of her quirk was already a subconscious declaration of her wanting to be saved, the anime giving her the active choice makes the message even clearer. Her feelings of "I want to be saved" were also "I want to save them." And that is something that is so integral to the themes of Hiroaka and Eri's character arc, because it is in this moment that Eri chose to rescue herself and the heroes fighting for her. Had she not jumped, this mission would have failed. What I'm trying to say, and what the story is trying to say, is that Eri is just as much a hero as Deku, as Lemillion, as all the people trying to rescue her. Don't believe me? Let's go back to that cape imagery. Within the text, there are two instances of Mirio's cape being used to signify hero imagery. First, Mirio himself, after he wraps Eri up in the cape, because as he says, heroes wear capes to wrap up crying children in their comfort. Then, later on, Eri reaches for the cape as a symbol of comfort, because that's what Lemillion has inspired in her. And then finally, after Overhaul explains how Eri's power works and how Deku will literally perish if he stays too close to her, he gives a big old "fuck you" and ties Eri to his back, using Lemillion's cape to secure her, asking for her help in battle. Whoever wears this cape is a hero. Now look at this. Since the anime started airing, Horikoshi will typically post a sketch when episodes release. Normally they relate to the episode, or he's just drawing a character from that episode that hasn't appeared in the manga for a while. And for episode 13 of season 4, this was the sketch. Since this is a video essay where I spell everything out, I'll explain the significance. My college level art classes have taught me that composition says everything. At the top, we see Overhaul and Deku facing each other, signifying their battle. At the bottom, we see Mirio and Night-Eye facing away from each other, which signifies their parting. And then, in the middle, front and center, we see Eri. Her hair and gown are whipping wildly around her, bandages unraveling around her limbs to reveal the several scars she's gained from her torture. She stands firm, gaze locked forward, brows furrowed. We see her crying, but it's not a sign of weakness. Eri is done being a victim. She is determined to save herself as well as the others. We see this message in the art, in the manga, in this episode, and in the ED for season 4 as well. The grand thesis of My Hero Academia is that anyone can be a hero. Anyone of any background, any status, any situation can become a hero. And here, Eri is just as much a hero as anyone else. The duality of her being both a victim and a hero is so important, on a level that I can't even completely put into words. Deku reached his hand out to her that day. It was the first time she ever felt kindness, but it was only when Eri reached back and met him halfway was she able to be saved. I wanted to scream about the cultural festival because it's one of my favorite arcs, and people calling it filler makes me so upset, but I really need to focus on Eri and not procrastinate writing this for another year. So, to free the girl from Overhaul's shadow, Izuku wants to show her a good time, and it's during Class A's performance that her shackles are finally broken. In a shower of light and music, she laughs and smiles and truly just has fun. Both Izuku and Mirio were brought to tears because the girl they fought so hard to save finally smiled. And it's important to note that Eri just didn't suddenly forget all of her trauma. We see afterwards she still carries a lot of guilt. She still thinks it's her fault when people are hurt, and she hates the power she was born with. But this is her first step in healing, because now she's able to move on, to learn how to cope, to learn how to be a kid. And finally, There's some people saying how Eri is gonna train to be a hero, how she needs to use her powers to rewind and heal heroes who have been hurt in later arcs, how Eri is gonna become an asset to the heroes, and she's the future of the blah blah blah, and all these people are missing the actual, most important part of her arc, the healing. Aizawa says it himself. UA's top priority in caring for Eri is letting her grow up happy and healthy. They're training her quirk, yes, but not to use her as a consequence-free magic button that heals every injured character. They're training her quirk so that she actually knows how to use it, so she won't be scared of it, so she understands it isn't a curse, so that she is free to use her power how she wants. Aizawa may have become her caretaker due to his erasure being able to cancel out rewind, but he's also her actual legal guardian now. Dad Zawa is real. He loves this child. He picked out ugly cat clothes for her. The light novel even states that both Eraserhead and Present Mike are raising Eri together. She isn't doing some high-intensity hero training. She was regrowing lizard tails to safely learn the limitations of her powers. Get this actual 7-year-old out of a UA uniform. Fuck! As an aside, I think Eri being a hero would be fitting. She's growing up surrounded by heroes, and she'll probably want to save people like Deku and Lemillion saved her. But not now. Right now, the only thing on everyone's mind when it comes to Eri is making sure she's in a safe environment and that she gets a chance at a normal life. It just seriously bugs me when people say, Eri needs to do this. Eri needs to do that, but that's because I care way too deeply about a fictional child. To sum everything up, I think Eri deserves a lot more credit than she gets from the fanbase. She's not just a child for Deku to save, she's not just a prop or MacGuffin or anything, she's an actual, well-realized, fleshed-out character. Her story is one of surviving abuse, learning to accept help, learning to love oneself, and remaining strong in the face of despair. I love Eri. I loved her reading the manga, but watching the anime when it aired truly made me realize that she is legitimately my favorite character. Yeah, part of that is the cute factor, because look at her, so cute! Oh my gosh, my little baby! I want to see her grow up happy and healthy. Man,